petty cash reimbursements are also submitted through the AP system. There are several forms that must first be filled out. The first form is the check request form. It must be completed with the date, the location name, who the check is to be made payable, the unit, and the employee that will be cashing the check. All checks will be sent directly to the unit for petty cash. Next, it will have a distribution of which account the money is going to. And the check request requires 2 signatures for approval. One must be from an FSD or a manager. Next, the petty cash accounting form will need to be completed. And this form can be done by listing each purchase on a separate line, and then the amount should be listed under the account it will be charged to. Column C will calculate automatically based on what is entered in all the other cells. To select which account, you can simply click on the top cell in row 3, hit the drop down arrow, and pick which account you want. And then by entering the amount below, it will automatically calculate in column C. The totals of each individual GL account will also calculate for you automatically at the bottom, along with the total of your receipts. The cash on hand at the end of the period needs to be counted from the petty cash box. The total expenses is the sum of all your receipts and will pull in automatically from this total right here. The cash on hand plus the expenses should equal the total amount of your authorized fund. If it does not, then the difference will show down here. If your total is less than the authorized amount, you have a shortage. If the amount is significant, it should be reported immediately to the FSD and manager for investigation, and a theft or loss report should be completed. If the total is more than the authorized amount, this is an overage and will reduce the amount of the petty cash check. The amount should not be reported as a line item on this form. Rather, it is reported on the check request form, which would go right here. If it is a shortage, it will be charged to the GL account 796, which means that you will enter it as a positive number. And if it's an overage, it will result in a credit to this GL account, so you would enter it as a negative number. The next form that we need to fill out is the counted petty cash form. And this can be done by counting up how much money you have left in your box and entering how many of each amount of currency you have, and the totals will again calculate for you automatically. This form also needs to be signed, and the total cash and the total receipts should enter your total authorized amount for your petty cash. Mileage reimbursements that were paid with petty cash must be entered on the mileage reimbursement form, which looks like this and can be found on the extranet or on the resources tab in the AP web system. All other receipts must list the GL account number along with the business purpose for the expense. Be sure to include the person, place, and purpose for travel, training, or meetings. The check request form, petty cash accounting form, counted petty cash form, receipts, and mileage reimbursement forms should all be scanned together in that order as one PDF document to be submitted to the AP system. Once in the AP system, a petty cash check request can be entered the same way as an invoice. First, we need to create a new batch by selecting our vendor. And again, I'm going to move the week date back. So once you have created that batch, you can add a new invoice. And we're going to enter the total amount. Mine was $172.95. And then we're going to select check request and browse for our file of all of those forms and create. If an employee for some reason would need to be reimbursed for an amount that is large and cannot be paid out of petty cash, a check request can be made. An employee supervisor must approve the check request with all of their receipts. A check request form and scanned copies and mileage reimbursements must be submitted through the AP system in the same way that the petty cash request was. Also, don't forget to mark the check request box. Once this invoice has gone through, I would then distribute the amounts to the different GL accounts that were listed on my petty cash accounting form, just like I would for an invoice.